This is my score with the old White Fox uniform, using Nick Fury lead and Luna Snow for main damage in the Vibranium League of Squad Battle. I scored 5.75 million. Now let's see how many points I score just by swapping to the new White Fox uniform. Now let's skip ahead to the third round where all the action happens, and we are going to see how much Luna will clock into now with this new White Fox uniform to back me up damage-wise, giving Luna an additional 5% all attack, but more importantly, the all-powerful, 10% chain hit damage. Wouldn't sound like a lot, but once you start seeing the score difference, assuming I can do my best to play properly here, you should see a massive increase in the score. I was able to clock up yesterday. How much was it? 6.8. So I actually got 1 million more points than I did just now with that showcase with the old uniform. And it's important to highlight this for Squad Battle and for ABX and for other game modes, because you're not going to see as large of a jump in World Boss, and I think that's where a lot of people want to see this uniform shine. Not that it doesn't shine there on her own, but usually when support characters get uniforms and get upgrades, you expect their productivity as a support unit in World Boss to skyrocket, but truth be told, she's already basically one of the best units for supporting World Boss in the first place. Okay, there we go. Probably should have done that one first. It's okay. Probably should have held that back. It's okay, too. We want as much chain hit damage as possible. We didn't get any refreshes. That's okay. There, we got a refresh on 1. And then we got a refresh on 2. So I actually didn't play particularly well. Looks like the score is going to end up being about the same, huh? Well, we did bump up the score, and actually, well, it's not the best showcase, but I ended up getting 6.8 million, and I'll include a little clip, a little snippet of that now to prove I guess I just didn't play that well this time around. But yeah, my Squad Battle score jumped, so that was just 250,000 points difference. But you can actually go as high as 1 million points, and I imagine if you can play better, you can probably make the gap even more than 1 million points between the old uniform and the new uniform. And I wanted to highlight this because it's really hard to do Squad Battle comparisons, because the first 2 rounds are really boring, so it makes the video super boring if you have to play through all 3 rounds 2 or 3 times to compare multiple different uniforms. So I wanted to give it to you guys in a sort of fast, spicy way, but didn't end up playing well enough to highlight really the maximum value. But you can see here now what I did yesterday on the stream, literally less than 24 hours ago. Exact same team up, exact same stage, exact same conditions. The digits were just more warmed up, I guess. So up to 1 million points difference, in my opinion, is a huge deal. You cannot account for my playstyle alone, and my, the variance in my ability to play does not vary 1 million points to make the old uniform that much closer to the new uniform. But unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but on the flip side, in World Boss, there isn't really a good way of showcasing what makes this uniform so great. Obviously, as a standalone character, it's night and day. I don't really need to showcase that because there basically isn't any content of White Fox Lifestyle Series 1 doing anything in World Boss as a standalone character, maybe stage 30 or 40 at most of World Boss, whereas now she can go all the way up to stage 99. So if you need a standalone speed hero with charm and damage and crazy damage as a single DPS character, not as a supporter, as a leadership, but doing her own damage, she is fantastic. She may be as good or almost as good as Holiday Lady Deadpool, because you've got the healing, you've got the charm, which is actually longer. There's a longer duration on the charm compared to Holiday Lady Deadpool's paralysis. You've got 5 seconds here, and then you've got another half second there with the paralysis. So you've got a ton of crowd control. She's basically like Morbius and Holiday Lady Deadpool fused into one, on top of the fact that you have massive increases on the support buffs. So you got 5% more attack, 10% chain hit damage, which is brand new, and 30% ignore dodge. And they changed the buff so that rather than just applying to leadership allies, which is a group of maybe 40 or 50 characters that have this ability, this leadership ability, she now applies to all heroes, which means she will give those buffs to Holiday Lady Deadpool and many other characters who just don't have that heroic or that leadership ability. So she becomes much more applicable as a support type character. Her regular tier 2 support still only applies to leadership characters, but that's okay because the chain hit damage and the ignore dodge is worth a lot. But the reason why I can't really showcase how much better she is as a support character in World Boss is because the way that you use her in World Boss as a support character is using her leadership to obtain or get as close to 100% all defense down, right? All allies debuffs effect are increased by 40%. And it turns out, I realized it when I was testing, if you hit 100% all defense down, the other buffs that you have don't really matter. That's why Holiday Lady Deadpool, with no accumulation and very few buffs, can slaughter stage 99 because of 100% all defense down. And trying to showcase the, buffs, right? I'm trying to show you the difference between an extra 5% attack and 10% chain hit damage. Professor X doesn't have any chain hit damage, so you'd think that this is a big difference for him, but unfortunately it's just not. So I'll showcase this now so you guys can see this is the old uniform here. We're not going to use any strikers. I've been testing this out, and we're just going to play for 30 seconds, right? Really high stage, really high level, and really short amount of time to try and amplify how much more this could be doing, right? Because even if you see an extra half bar of damage, then you can multiply that out and see that it would give you whatever 1, 2, 3, 4 bars more. Now, because we don't have any strikers, Nimrod comes out right away, so we start getting his all defense down stack immediately, which is really, really nice. We dodge all of those expertly. We start doing damage, okay, and you can see tons of damage. We're gonna pop the tier 3 skill, another 12 seconds worth of damage here, 10 seconds. Okay, we're doing a good job, yada, yada, yada. He comes out again. We pop the 5 again, into 3 again, into 2. And we did about... Okay, we did a ton of damage there in the last second. So I'm going to count that. We got to the bottom of 12 bars. It's 100% all defense down. You just can't tell the difference. So, again, for that reason, this uniform may not seem like an impressive pickup for players who are just going to use her as a support in World Boss anyways. But I would highlight the fact that as a standalone character, it is a massive improvement for her. It is on the level of Holiday Lady Deadpool, on the level of Moon Knight's uniform, etc. And then on the flip side, for squad battle and ABX and possibly GBR, where you cannot apply or rely on all defense down, this uniform is outstanding, because it gives you chain hit damage, which gives you access to more damage, just more raw damage. We saw what just a little bit of chain hit damage did for Doctor Strange and his new uniform, so you can try and extrapolate it that way. It's always been kind of difficult for the player base to wrap their heads around chain hit damage and really how much damage that adds. It's not quite, it's more than a 10% attack increase, but it's less than a 10% increase to villains increase, for example. Well, let's say. Anyways, we got about a bar's worth of damage more, but we also let it play for a second longer, so it might have honestly been exactly the same. It's pretty hard to gauge because you just do so much damage. And you wouldn't use White Fox, right? You wouldn't buy this uniform and not use her as a leadership. You wouldn't put her here as a support only. So I guess some people do that for Beta Ray Bill if they don't have Phyla-Vell, but otherwise she's always being used as a leadership, and so it may minimize the value of her uniform if that's all you're going to use her for. So again, it's definitely not again, I haven't stated this yet in the video, but sort of in summary of it, I think that this uniform is definitely not a must-buy for any veteran players who have a, mostly complete roster. It's also not a must-buy for people who are focusing almost exclusively now on Null, World Boss, or other content like PvP, because she just doesn't have much. She can't apply She doesn't do anything yet. She doesn't have a tier 3 or an awakening skill to participate in null, and she doesn't have any PvP value. I don't know how she plays in AC, but as a standalone character, she's amazing now. Very, very strong. I mean, I was doing crazy feats of clearing with a CTP of Insight, and I can show you guys now again what that looks like. And then on top of that, she's improved her support abilities drastically with a special nod to ABX, squad battle, and other game modes. So for example here, I bumped myself up by 1 million. This guy, Shinju, is up to 8 million points with the new uniform. So it really comes down to, you know, if you're willing to spend money on this game or not, and then also whether or not you need White Fox for what she brings to the table. So we'll just jump into stage 80 here. We will give her double support, and we don't even need to use strikers. And she'll probably be able to clear this. I'm not going to do the full clear, but I'll show you that I can definitely get down to 11 bars inside of a minute. And usually you need about 1:30 to trigger that first phase from Proxima. Oh, we took some damage there, but we're going to heal it up soon. Okay, charm her for 5 seconds so she just stops doing damage. Okay, there we go. We heal ourselves back up to full. Wow, not playing well at all. Dang. Yeah, not playing well at all. Getting hit a lot, sadly. But we're still able to, yeah, inside of 30 seconds. So, yeah. Just tremendous rework for this character. You don't need to give her a CTP at all. She will dominate for you with a very simplistic build. And yeah, still a fantastic support character. Possibly one of the more higher value characters overall now, because she has extreme value as both a standalone character and as a support. That can be frustrating for players who, not frustrating, but it can be kind of annoying if you're not sure how to build her because of the fact that a support character, you might want to give them a CTP of Insight. But this is especially good value, again, if you're willing to spend some money, for players who don't have CTPs, because it not only gives you much more of a support character to build on, but it gives you a support character that doesn't just support, right? That can be kind of the frustrating part of building up for a character like Valkyrie or even Phil Coulson. Even though, you know, Phil Coulson's free, you build him up, and that's the only thing he can do, is be a support character, nothing else. Whereas now with White Fox, thankfully, she's even better at being a support character, like Enchantress, right? She's even better at being a support character, but now she can also carry her own weight. So obviously one of the most expensive uniform in the game now, along with Gwenpool's uniform and Enchantress's uniform, because they cost real money. But I wanted to make this video to give you guys a highlight of what she can do really well, but also to highlight the fact that you definitely don't need to purchase her. And my account in particular, I didn't need to purchase her. I did so for other reasons. We talked about that in other videos. I don't want to get into it again, but you know, definitely analyze and think about where your account is and what your account needs to do and where your goals are in the game, whether you're pushing world boss, or you're pushing this or that, or a PvP, ABX, null, and then that will make it clearer to you whether you should invest in it or not. Obviously, in terms of return on investment, it's hard to argue that her uniform is worth it, because all of the uniforms cost 1,000 crystals versus 20 real dollars. That in that case, obviously the return on investment is not going to match up. But for everybody else that was wondering, I wanted to make this video, and also because you guys are getting 10 tokens tomorrow. So tomorrow you'll have that reduction in cost, because for anybody that wanted to purchase the uniform up until now, you had to get 30 tokens, which means you had to spend $30. So now you only have to spend 20. It's not a huge discount, but it's 10%. It's you know, it's a 30% off. It's $10 off. For those of you that are wondering what's the sort of cheapest or most efficient route to getting those 20 tokens, very briefly, haven't spoken about in-shop deals in 2 months here. The Groot's Holiday Ornament chests are probably the best offer. You still have a lot of time. You still have 6 days to buy these tokens, so you don't have to rush or anything. But you buy the $4 one. You can see I purchased it a bunch of times. That's how I got the uniform myself. For each one that you purchase, it's $3 American or $4 Canadian. It gives you 3 tokens. So just to purchase it 7 times, that'll give you 21 tokens. Then you'll have one extra token. You can't do anything with the extra token. On the flip side, you could buy the number 2 pack twice. That will give you the exact number of tokens, but it will give you fewer crystals and fewer boxes per dollar than you would get from the number 1 pack. So the number 1 pack Same price, but it gives you a little bit more, and it leaves you with 1 extra token left over. The number 2 doesn't leave you with leftover tokens, but I think for some people it might bug them to have leftover tokens. So yeah, I don't know where my tokens went. Well, I don't have extra tokens. Huh. Oh, because I went to 30. Right. I'll have 10 tokens now. True. Anywho, let me know what you guys think of White Fox and if you're going to be picking her up or not. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.